car is rated to tow that much. I'm going to show you some numbers from trips I've taken. Then I'll show you some numbers from trips some of the RV transporters have taken and let you decide. Okay, welcome back. So, I was stopped at a truck stop the other day getting fuel. A guy comes up to me and starts chatting, and he says, well, I'm thinking about getting RV transport. Would I make more money RV transport or doing what you're doing, which is Driveaway? My sarcastic side almost kicked in and said, how the hell am I supposed to know? Does it look like I'm transporting RVs? But I didn't. And while I've never technically delivered RVs, I have about a year and a half experience delivering horse trailers with living quarters. So I guess technically those are RVs. But that was back in the late 90s. When I got back into driving, I considered buying a pickup and doing RV transport. So I followed some RV transporters on YouTube. Most of those RV transporters are not on YouTube anymore. And there's a reason for that. If you'll notice, the thing about RV transporters is they'll start their channels out 6 months or a year later, they're gone. And like I said, there's a reason for that. The same can be said for Driveaway, almost. My plan when I started driving again was to do Driveaway for a year or so, and then buy a haul and tow, do that, and then go into buy me a tractor and go into multi-haul. I didn't realize then that I would like Driveaway so well and that it would pay so well. Like a lot of people, when I started to get into it, you have a lot of people saying, there ain't no money in Driveaway. There ain't no money in doing singles. And here, almost 4 years later, they'll still tell you that. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? I will throw in some solid facts about each line of business, because a lot of people are judging a book by the cover. They're not taking a look on the inside to see what's really there. So let's take a look at RV transport. In RV transport, most people have a pickup that they will lease on to an RV transport company. I say most people because there are a few who drive somebody else's pickup, get paid to drive somebody else's pickup, which it is rare that happens, but it does happen. So when I say that, and we're talking about RV transport, we're not talking about haul and tow or multi-haul. We're just talking about single pull, 3/4 ton, 1-ton pickup that you own or you're paying. what normally happens when people get into this business, they'll go out and buy a $70,000, $80,000 pickup, Ram, Ford, Chevy, and it gets all the bells and whistles on it. Well, what generally, I won't say generally, what happens many times is they'll make a couple runs, and while they may make some good cash on going out, they don't make nothing coming back. 9 times out of 10, you won't have nothing coming back. Some companies will maybe get you a boat or something. The other disadvantage, in my opinion, you always have to go to the Elkhart, Goshen, Middlebury area to get your Wakarusa, get your RV. I just do not like that area. No thank you. Because it usually means going through Chicago or, 31 up through Indianapolis, to South Bend. No thank you. I did that enough when I pulled old trailers. So that's a big con for me. Always having to go back to that area to get your RVs. The last time I looked, and from the current RV transporters YouTube videos, and from Horizon website, RV transporter makes about $1.63 a mile. Now let's take Driveaway. And when I talk about Driveaway, I'm not talking about driving RVs away. I don't think I've ever drove an RV. I'm talking about the type of Driveaway we do, which is anything from a school bus to bucket truck, semi, school bus, that type of stuff. And the pay varies. Some companies pay for fuel, and some companies pay for everything, but like I've said, those companies that pay for everything don't expect to get paid much, because you're paying for it one way or another. Other companies give you a lump sum and you handle everything. That's the ones I like. Very big old stack of money, or a little smaller stack of money these days. But even with ones that cover fuel, there's some of them paying $1 a mile. You're already ahead of the RV transporters who are getting 81.5 cents a mile. They're paying for fuel and maintenance on their $80,000 pickup. I don't know. It just doesn't make no sense to me. But let's just say we're transporting a bucket truck or something like that. Now, there are those who will say they can make just as much money without a tow car as we can with a tow car. And that may be true. But they're going to work longer and harder to do it because their transportation costs are through the roof. That's why you'll see some of them only take cross-country trips, or 1,500-mile trips or 1,000-mile trips, something like that. They won't mess with 500 to 600-mile trips because they just can't make no money on them with transportation costs. So, and the argument is, well, you got transportation costs with your tow car. I do. My insurance is about $60 a month, This thing gets about 35 miles a gallon. I got about 400 mile range per fill up. So I have that. Not much in the way of maintenance other than your oil changes and stuff like that, which you're dealing with 4.5 quarts of oil and an oil filter. My oil changes are around $35 to change the oil this thing. And that sometimes I'll do that once or twice a month, depending on the miles on the vehicle. Most people I know who are doing Driveaway with a tow car have low expenses. We're not spending $500-600 a trip just on airfare, not to mention Uber and Lyfts and shuttles and stuff like that. What's my train of thought? I just knew that silver SUV was going to come over on me. Just something to take into account. Okay, tonight, what are you going to do? He says, shit, that's where I need to go. I got to talk to y'all. I completely forgot what I was doing. I thought the on-ramp back there is usually what I can take for the off-ramp lane, but then it peters out. So anyway, all's well in love and war and YouTube. So anyway, you have that going for you. Where do I sleep? Now, honestly, if I'm deadheading, unless it's late at night, I might get a room. Just got a room in Kansas City the other night when I had to deadhead back because broken tow bar. $80 all in. That's tax and everything. I usually most of my rooms are under $100. It's crazy the amount of rooms you can still get for $60. Some people say, "Oh, you can't get down there for less than $100." I don't know what kind of. I guess you're doing the Holiday Inn Express, but most of the rooms I get are less than $100. So that doesn't happen every night. If I'm under load, I sleep in the truck or I sleep in the car. I carry all my food, tools, extra clothing, everything in the car. Self-sufficient. As far as food, I take my own food. You've seen my video on how I do that with the Alpicool freezer fridge combo and the hot logic. I eat meals for less than $10 a meal. I usually eat once a day. So it's just a minimal expense right there. That's the way I like it. Plus I get better quality food because I cooked it. So even companies that pay you lump sum, and I'll show you the examples coming up of a couple loads I took and the expenses and who made off better. Okay, Mr. Tractor Man, brush hog dude. I always come out better if I buy my own fuel. Give me a lump sum, let me buy my own fuel. I'll come out better than someone getting $1. Most of the time, there are exceptions, simply because most of the time, those trucks have at least a quarter tank. A quarter tank should get you a couple hundred miles. And if you're only doing a run that's 600, 700, 800 miles, the majority of your miles have fuel paid already, because it's sitting in a tank for you. Yeah, new units tend to pay more because they are on empty. If I take a new one, it's usually with a company that pays for fuel. Unless it's just a Peterbilt going to some really cool place. And more times than not, with these companies that are just give you a lump sum and you pay for your own fuel, I'd say at least half the time these trucks have enough fuel to either get to their destination without you adding some, or adding less than 20 gallons. This one I took to Nebraska, I had to put 35 gallons in. I used my Green Lane card and got a discount, big discount at Love's, and I still made pretty good on that. Maybe that's the one I'll show you. I don't know. We'll see. But even if 25% of the time they have enough fuel going to them, that's $1.25, 30, 35, $1.35, whatever you're getting. Some instances $1.95 that you're making off that load. And yes, I recently made $1.95 a mile for a unit. Now granted, it was only going 120 miles, but still $1.95. Another unit I did went 260 miles and I was paid $4.75 because it was hot. They needed it. I was more than happy to take it to them. And you figure out the mileage on that one. Damn near $2 a mile. And now people say, well, you can't do that all the time. I do it just about every week. At least one of my runs a week. If I'm out there pushing it, it's a hot load that pays really well. And that brings my weekly average way up. At the least, maybe every other week. This upcoming week, I've got 2 loads already. A pending 3rd load. And they're all with a company that pays lump sum. No hot load yet, but we haven't even got to next week yet.
Show me the money.
Okay, now I watched quite a few of the RV transport videos to try to get an idea of what those guys are making, and gals. Most these examples came from the last 6 months. There's a lot of how much did I make, but videos out there, but many of them are 2, 3, 4 years old, and many of those people made so much money they're not even in RV transport anymore. So let's the first example I found was this gentleman went 500 miles and he was paid $845. That come out to $1.69 per mile. Not bad, you thinking, but that's gross. According to him, He lived along. He deadheaded to Elkhart to get this trailer. Apparently, he lives in, I don't know, someplace in the South, maybe Texas, maybe, I don't know, Louisiana, someplace. He spent, according to his video, $365 to get to Elkhart. I forget my writing there. Anyway, got the trailer, and it only went 500 miles. And according to his video, he spent $137 on fuel to get that to delivery. And I forget where he said he delivered it. I'm working off my notes. My notes aren't much better than my whiteboard writing. Seemed like, yeah, he had a motel for 68. Now 500 miles, that's usually a day run, but maybe he got started late and I don't know, got the motel, whatever. Anyway, maybe it's deadheading to Elkhart he got the motel. I'm not sure, but he spent a motel. So, and I figured this up before I started how much that came out to. Okay, I'll have to figure this up again. Okay, so with these deductions, that's what he said: $375 to get to Elkhart, $137 to deliver in fuel to deliver the trailer, and $68 for motel. That comes out to a grand profit of $275. Where am I at? $275 for 500 miles, which comes out to 55 cents a mile net.
Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
And that's if he told us all the deductions. 55 cents a mile. Example number 2. This gentleman spent a few days out on the road. 4,630 miles, and he bought 379 gallons of fuel. No, yeah, 379 gallons of fuel at $1,482. He averaged 12.2 miles per gallon. Now I'm assuming that is loaded. I don't know. His gross was 28. The net after all his expenses, and I don't know that he 28. I'm looking on my notes and trying to write this down at the same time for y'all. His net was $1,345. He figured he was making $269 per day, netting $269 per day, which came out to 61 cents per mile. Remember, the last example was 55 cents, so he's doing a little bit better. Folks, you can go drive a semi-truck, and a company owns a truck, makes all the repairs, buys all the fuel, does everything for you for 55 to 61 cents a mile. True, you will not have the freedom you have, but you don't have to go out and buy an $80,000 pickup to make 61 to 55 cents a mile. I'm just saying, do I want to wear out an $80,000 pickup for 55 to 61 cents a mile? And this, I'm pretty sure, is not taking into account the wear and tear on those trucks. True, you're getting 67.5 cents a mile. And that's what, when I figure on my tow car, the wear and tear, at 67.5 cents a mile tax deduction takes care of my wear and tear. But I'm driving a $3,000 tow car and not an $80,000 Dodge pickup. Now, the third example, because what I found in a lot of these how much I made videos, they're very vague on their expenses. One tried to say he made $25,000 a month or something like that. And yeah, RV transport, you made $25,000 a month. Okay, sure, whatever. But anyway, third example is kind of vague. He was out 12 days. Made a gross of $65.20. Had $2,938 in expenses. Again, I don't know that he or she broke the expenses down. They netted $35.81. That ain't bad. But for 12 days, that comes out to about $300 a day. Let's see, is that right? I better do this on the calculator to see. Hold on. Yep, 298. So I was up $2 off. So my high school math in my head came out to almost right. Yeah, and that sounds pretty good to a lot of people, especially if you're used to flipping burgers or something. But the thing is, again, you have to have the equipment to do this. You don't get by with a $5,000 Dodge pickup that's 20 years old. Most of these companies won't lease you on. So they go out and they buy these new 3/4 or 1 ton pickups to make. Did he have the miles down on that? No, he did not have the miles on that. Again, all he said was 12 days. We don't know how many miles this is. So, could be good, could be bad. But anyway, this is just something to give you some idea of what these, from what I'm seeing, these RV transporters are making $1.63 to $1.69 per mile using their pickup. If you're an RV transport company, that's a hell of a deal for you. You got these guys out there making that for you, not for them. I mean, this is what they're making for them. Let's see, per day. Okay, so let me round up a couple of my examples, and I'm going to try to choose the middle of the road examples of stuff, the average examples, because I've got, this should be, this, I've told you before in other videos, my goal was to net $400 per day, and that was before that was years ago. So my new one is $300 a day, but let's compare numbers. And went from Minco, Oklahoma to North Platte, Nebraska, 522 miles, total pay $678.60, $30. I don't remember what the $30 was for, actually. So it was reimbursement for something, probably oil or windshield washer fluid or something, I don't know. So anyway, I had to put 135 gallons. I think I paid $2.99 or $2.98 for it, basically $3. $105 worth of fuel in it. Brought me down to $573.60 net, and that comes out to $1.09 a mile. And picked it up one afternoon, delivered the next morning in North Platte. So actually, it was a Saturday morning. It was a what was this? Peterbilt 579 repo. And so here's here's the rest of the breakdown. I took advance on this. On units I had to buy fuel for, I take advance. I try to make every unit pay for itself. And so, let's see, settlement amount $271.30. Total settlement after advance is $301. So I walked out of there $573. Can't remember where I went to after that. They all kind of run together after a while. So, but anyway, $1.09 using somebody else's truck for, I don't know, I mean, let's just say a day's work. Okay, here's another one. It was 702 miles on this one. Now this company pays 90 cents a mile, and they pay for fuel and everything else. So, I don't know. Can y'all? Yeah, y'all can see this. This motel light isn't the best. Forget about that. I just really, I know what they're doing there, but that's for another division. But anyway, my pay comes out on this one was 702 miles, $568.59. And that's after they took out my escrow, $83.71. And there was a $20 back to me. It comes out to about $548. Then there was $20 in tolls I had, so they added that back in. They don't take your escrow if you have tolls, or you buy oil or something like that. They don't. That's not included when they figure your escrow or stuff like that. This is actually what I bought in fuel for that particular truck. I think this one went from Tulsa or Oklahoma City to Wisconsin. And I put $250 in it. So, yeah, 307. So, anyway, like I said, this is 90 cents a mile with my escrow taken out. Afterwards, it's a little less than 90 cents. So, it's still better than 61 cents. Or, there again, this is somebody else's truck I'm using. Wear and tear on somebody else's truck. Now, yes, I do have a tow car. And it's a $3,000 tow car, not a $80,000 one-ton pickup. So, anyway, this is just a kind of comparison. Let's see. Let me do the math real quick. 702. Hold on. Shit. I got a calculator. Let me figure this up, and I'll get right back with you. That was $548 before the toll was added in. So $548.59. Okay, that come out to 78 cents a mile. That's better than a calculator. So that's after they took my escrow out. Once I reach my escrow, and then obviously that won't be taken out. Like I said, I always do better buying my own fuel. So everybody thinks it's so great. Oh, I want a company that pays for fuel, motel, and all that, blah, blah. No. Yeah. Anytime you got a company that pays for fuel and stuff, motel and all that, you ain't gonna get squat for miles. So pay for miles. It's always better to buy your own fuel and learn how to do your fuel discounts, get your fuel discounts. So anyway, that just kind of gives you an idea of what. Now all these were short runs of mine. I looking in for this company. The longest one I had was back in spring. I had a 1,600 mile run with them, but I had a lot of breakdowns on that one, and this section here was really long, and I know it confused a lot of people, confuses me sometimes. So I just didn't add it in. Basically, I say you come out 90 cents a mile. And if they have to take your deductible buyback or your escrow out, that comes off the top. And then you're left with the final. So, still 78 cents is, and using somebody else's truck is better than 61 using your own, in my opinion. But hey, you do you, boo-boo. Okay, third example right here. We are going from, what does that? Bear with me as I try to see this. We're going from Oklahoma City to Springfield, Missouri. This is a short run, 290, looks like 94 miles. Now, this company pays a line haul on some of its runs, and it pays a fuel surcharge on some. I personally wouldn't have even looked at this had it just paid the line haul, because their line haul rate is garbage. But they paid a fuel surcharge, and then I had the tolls. This truck was almost full. I could have went back and forth 5 times probably before I had to buy fuel, and that's why I like used trucks. This one had enough fuel to make it all the way, so I made the full. What was that? $1.20. Okay, hold on. Let's see what it is. Okay, that comes out to $1.18 a mile, which is ridiculously low, but it's right at my house. The total pay for that was $347.25. I got $20.50 in tolls for 294 miles. Is that right? Did I do that right? $2. Yeah, I believe that's right. Let me see. 347 divided by 295. Yeah, $1.17, $1.18, which is pretty doggone low. But like I said, it's right at my house. So it was an easy day work. Got back home. I tried to show you a little bit of all the range, highs and lows. I didn't show you my longer runs. I like the 500-600 mile runs, 700 miles. That's what I like. Pick it up one day, deliver it next morning. That's what I like. So there's my escrow pay. Escrow payment's $5. It just wasn't a lot of deductions on this because my escrow is nearly paid on that. So yeah, again, another truck had enough fuel in it to make it, 294 miles. Even if I was on quarter tank or a hair less. 294 miles on a truck with 220-gallon tanks isn't nothing.
I'm pretty tired. Think I'll go home now.
So there you have it. Examples of both RV transport and Driveaway. And you can make your own mind up. Granted, even if you're making 61 cents a mile doing singles with RV transport, you have that freedom. But that freedom to me comes at a steep price. So just something to consider before you go out and to your friendly Dodge dealer and give them $80,000-$90,000 for a new 1-ton Ram. Just something to keep in mind. And these examples I gave you doesn't count their maintenance or their insurance or any of the other good stuff it takes to lease on to a company. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'm going to get out of here, have a little dinner, and we'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.